Hello, everybody. Welcome to our little discussion here. Originally, we're going to have this be one big video, but we're going to slice it up. So this one's going to be about the core introductory classes for UCSB. So Benji and I were both seniors, about to graduate, economics, UCSB, ta-da. But yeah, we're going to have some reflection videos going on. And he is my housemate, by the way, and we had a podcast together earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so hi, I'm Benji. I'm a UCSB transfer economics student. So a lot of my take will be kind of from the perspective of a transfer student, as well as kind of my take as an econ major is like I heavily immerse myself in the studying of the topic. So this isn't a requirement of how and what you need to do to succeed. It's what worked for me, and what works for me might not work for you, and that's okay. It's just kind of giving you tips on how you think you can succeed best. Thank you. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, let's get into it.
All right, let's go.
Well, I guess we can have like a brief rundown of your experience at UCSB, with all the econ, because you're a transfer.
Yeah, exactly. So pretty much like I'd say the heaviest courses in econ are going to be your core classes. So it's going to be econ 1, 2, I had no experience there, 10A, 100B, 101, 140A, and
PSTAT 109.
And PSTAT 109.
Yeah.
So those are the core classes. And these are actually all of the notes that I have from the core classes. Like just to kind of like show a little bit of it. Usually what I do is I take handwritten notes in class, and then I got like white construction paper to do practice problems, and like all those extra papers are just fluff that I did taking notes on a computer off of my computer, like off of the PowerPoints and whatnot. Like I just really wanted to like set a good foundation here at UCSB, and so I tried very, very hard in order to do the best that I could.
Okay. Yeah. Going back to the core classes, because the prereq classes, so Econ 1, Econ 2, Econ 10A, which we both took.
Yeah.
And then PSTAT 109. So I kind of like joked about to my friends. It's like, well, you get really, really good at drawing the supply and demand.
Yeah.
So it's like, vertical line, horizontal line, and then the two curves, the demand and supply. So I got really good at that. So be prepared for that. Whip out your binder paper, write that down. But in terms of like 1 and 2, Econ 1 and 2, the material is not that hard. Mm-hmm. And I actually studied a little more than maybe I should have. I'm not exactly sure. But the way the curve is set up with like 6% of the people getting A's, 6% A minuses, yada, yada, the tests are really hard. So they call them quizzes for Econ 1 to Econ 2. And they're basically midterms that you have every week, which is really brutal. And I was like panicking because one of my housemates and my other friend, they were also taking the class as a prereq for other majors at UCSB. So it was like sociology major and then political science. And they actually did almost as well as me and better in some regards. And I felt kind of discouraged. I'm like, man, I should be studying harder. Is this not the right major for me? So if you happen to come here and that's the case, don't worry about it. Just keep working hard. The grades will speak for themselves. You can always try like multiple times to get in the major in terms of 10A, which is the hard class that we both took together.
Yeah, and in 10A, to be honest, like the material in 10A vocabulary-wise, like topic-wise, was very different for me in what I took in econ, I guess 1 and 2, macro, micro, and at community college. Utility was a foreign word to me. I had no clue what indifference curves were. So my learning curve for that class was, I guess, like super steep. Like I had a lot to learn in a short period of time. And I think UCSB does a pretty good job giving the students a lot of opportunities to succeed. So I went to CLES, which is kind of like a program that UCSB created here to have people teach us topics that are like Econ 10A. Office hours for TAs. Like I went to multiple TA office hours, and they're all really, really nice people. And I even went into a couple of the professors' office hours, not 100% useful all the time, but you might as well try everything at least once to see what works best for you.
Fair enough.
And I have like an example kind of like of the test. Pretty much all of the core econ classes have a similar format where they all have like the same title page where it talks about cheating and whatnot, and then like a proper graph of supply and demand.
And it's like you have to check your neighbor's ID, check your ID, check your other neighbor's ID.
And most of them are then followed by like some multiple choice that you have. I don't know if the camera can see this, but
you can show that one.
Some multiple choice. There's maybe about usually 5 for 10A, and then 2 free.
See, I'm still sick from stressing out over econ. Go ahead.
And then you get free response papers. The free response usually carry a good amount of the weight, but I think the trick is to always nail down multiple choice first. Like really solidify your multiple choice, because if you miss one, that's 2 points off. That's a big percentage point. And then like show all your work for the free response. I got like one of my favorite responses here. I got the whole question wrong and the TA just wrote not quite and marked me down. So it was pretty funny. All the courses are similar in that respect. So
yeah, I would say for Econ 1 and 2, the multiple choice was hard. I've never had multiple choice quite that hard in high school.
Yeah.
This is like really, really tricky. Like you feel like you know the concepts and they ask you in a very indirect way, which is, I mean, it's the class is supposed to be hard. So, not everyone can get A's. And also the true and false was the hardest thing I've ever had. Like I started to hate true and false.
Yeah. I mean, I hate true and false. So, so next question, let's see what else is there like anything else that you think we should speak about?
You were talking about TA office hours and all that. So something I realized especially like in lecture where there's like 600 plus people in Econ 1, Econ 2, I think Econ 10H has like a couple hundred.
No, I think it was like we were in IB theater, so it was like 450 plus, plus another 120 who had a different professor. So it's like a total of 600 students.
Yikes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. What I realized a lot for especially Econ 1 and 2 and later on like the other core classes that are not prereqs is that when you're in class and the professor's teaching, it makes sense. And it's like relatively simple to follow. Yeah. For most of the time.
Yeah, most of the time.
Yeah. At least for the earlier classes. But then once you get to the homework or the practice quizzes or whatnot, you're like, what the hell is going on? Yeah. Because they teach you something that's a little different from how the test will look like. Yeah. So a lot of the time I had to go to office hours or go on like, Google the answers and whatnot. And that helps. But office hours is like your number one thing. Going to section for sure. Don't sleep on that, kids.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, go to class. Stay in school, go to class. But that was really, really useful. And then like getting that bond with your TA to kind of, talk more about like stuff outside the class or whatever is really nice.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the number one like thing that you need to do is just practice. Yeah. Like they give you a lot of resources to do practice problems. And I think that those are the most underused sources that we have.
Definitely.
And like if you just do them, you're always going to find one tricky problem in every single test. And then like Ashton was saying, go to your TA to explain that tricky problem. Because I guarantee you there's like a derivative of that question somewhere later in like another test, like in 2013 winter. So I'd say that's like, and this goes for Econ 10A, especially for Econ 140A, which is econometrics, and 100B mostly. 101 was a little different for me, where it was like I had my practice problems, but I think they came from the book, which is kind of a rarity.
Okay. Yeah. You know what I'm thinking, actually? We're going to wrap this up here because it's running a little long. Yeah. And then the next video will have the other questions. Yeah. So stay tuned for that. Thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you soon. This is Benji, and check out his podcast in the description below. But thank you guys for watching. I'll see you later.
Have a good one.